we learned that a composite shape is a figure that's made up of other figures like triangles, squares, rectangles, and other shapes. So on this problem, we are supposed to find the total area of the figure. Well, when we look at the figure, we see that there are two shapes that make up this composite shape. We have a rectangle at the bottom that says home for sale in it, and then sitting on top of it is a triangle. So going through this one, we need to think about the area formulas for a rectangle and a triangle. Let's do the rectangle on the bottom first. Here we have our rectangle, and we know that to find the area of a rectangle, we need to do base times height. So we need to look in this yellow shape that I highlighted and find the base and the height. Remember, the base and the height always have to make a right angle. So here's our right angle, which means 14 is our base of the rectangle and 12 is the height of the rectangle. So now let's substitute those dimensions into our formula. The base is 14, the height is 12, and then the last thing we need to do for the rectangle is do the math. 14 times 12 is 168 inches squared. So that means just the rectangle has an area of 168 square inches. Well, next, let's move on to the triangle that's sitting on top. Well, the area for the triangle, the formula for that is area equals 1/2 base times height. So we need to find the base of this triangle, find the height of this triangle. Well, let's look around to see which dimensions may help us. The height of the triangle is going to be from the top of the triangle straight down to the base. Remember, it has to make a right angle. Well, nowhere do I have that specific dimension, but I can look around and use some deductive reasoning to find that smaller dimension. We know that this entire dimension is 18 inches. We also know that this dimension is 12 inches because it's congruent to the opposite parallel side. So if the whole thing is 18 inches and this piece on the bottom is 12 inches, to find out this dimension, we can do 18 minus 12. 18 minus 12 is 6. So that means the height of the triangle is 6 inches. Well, we need the base, and so here is the base. Even though it's not labeled, we have enough information. That base is also one of the side lengths of the rectangle, so it is congruent to its opposite parallel side, so 14 inches. Now that I know the base and the height of the triangle, substitute it into our formula. 1/2 times 14 times 6, and then do the math. 1/2 of 14 is 7. 7 times 6 is 42 inches squared. So we have now determined that the area of the triangle is 42 square inches, and we had found that the area of the rectangle was 168 square inches. Now it's up to you to do the final step. What is the total area of this figure?